We have with us our next speaker, Dr. Geetansha Sachdev, a very capable surgeon, a driven academic in charge of the Eye Foundation group of hospitals, resting on a very young shoulders, and she has a great potential. So she is going to teach us about a different way to perceive things. On to you, Geetansha.
Thank you. Is my slide visible?
Yes.
Yeah, so a very good evening to all of you. At the outset, I'd like to thank the ARC for this opportunity. Today, essentially, I'll be sharing two cases of retained lenticule post-smile, wherein the management was done with a slightly different approach. So this is the first case wherein you can see that there is an unstable suction at the anterior lenticule cut, and the superiorly encroaching conjunctiva has now interfered with the subsequent femtosecond delivery, leading to non-penetrance of the laser and no side cut. We have published the use of a manual incision with a blade to open the side cut. However, we were unable to do so in this case and did not have access to the lenticule. So what we decided to do was to use the Circle software, pattern D, wherein the initial cap was converted into a flap akin to how one would do a flex procedure. The next step is the same as a flex, wherein you delineate both the cap as well as the lenticule and then reflect it. A non-tooth forceps can then be used to atraumatically hold the flap, while the lenticule is slowly and meticulously then dissected from the undersurface of the flap. Now, as this was a complicated case, it would be advisable to make sure that the lenticule is then spread to make sure it has been removed in toto. You can see that there's a small sliver of tissue that was missing, which is then peeled off, and the flap is reposited. This patient did well with an unaided vision of 20/20 on the first postoperative day. On hindsight, maybe it would have been better to just release the foot pedal and restart the procedure. But this was probably one of those moments where everyone hopes that if the suction just stays on for another second, we could complete the case. The other case of retained lenticule that I wanted to talk about was in the postoperative period. Now, when we have lenticules which are large, it's fairly simple. You can see them on the tomography. They're very obvious on the ASOCT, or even as simple as retroillumination on a biomicroscopy. So in order to remove these lenticules, I prefer to do it under a dilated pupil. So the glow behind lets me see the size and the dimensions of the lenticule. Now, unlike the original SMILE procedure, there will be no counter traction for this remnant. So the lenticule tends to fold up on its own. One can inject saline into the interface to unfurl this flap, which can then be held with the forceps, and after a careful dissection, it can be pulled out. Again, as I had alluded to earlier, it is imperative to spread out the lenticule and make sure that it has been removed in its entirety. But what about this case? Now, this is a case wherein the patient presented with a low unaided visual acuity post-operatively. You can see that there's a steepening on the corneal tomography post-SMILE, but on the ASOCT, there is no lenticule remnant that is visible, and we could not find one on the slit lamp either. So what we went ahead and did was we used preservative-free diluted triamcinolone acetonide. You can see that the crystals here stain the edges of the lenticule beautifully, which can subsequently be grabbed or with a forceps, or you can use a spatula in order to dissect it and then remove it. Now, the advantage of this is that this is freely available. It's obviously much cheaper as compared to other modalities that have been described, like the use of an intraoperative ASOCT, or even the use of a Circle software wherein a flap was created and the remnant lenticules were removed. The concentration used here is exceedingly low, so there is no spike in the intraocular pressure. And one should do a thorough interface wash after the lenticule has been removed to make sure that no distinction is there. This patient also did exceedingly well and ended up with an unaided vision of 20/20 post-operatively. So I just wanted to share these two videos because retained lenticules in SMILE is a relatively common complication now, and maybe this slightly different approach might be of help to fellow surgeons who are stuck in similar situations as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Geetansha. You showed the different ways of how software could be quite versatile. The only thing, as she had already said, that if you had taken the pedal off when the suction loss is impending, then the machine goes into a repair mode and this incision would have occurred, but would have not done. But then you could do it manually too. And she has shown another brilliant way of handling it. So there are different ways. And again, we need to know that there are Circle software. She has taken the D step, the D cut, which makes it easier to reach into the interface and go and do it. Now, going on to a second talk on the remnant lenticule. Supposing you don't have access to ASOCT, and there is a mild suspicion on the topography that there could be a remnant. When you see this patient coming back, the small residual error, what would you do? Would you like to stay conservative, or would you like to go and search for a remnant? Sri Ganesh, I want your thoughts. The second question I want to be answered also is, how late have you removed a lenticule? And what are your thoughts on that?
Thank you, Chitra. Gitansha, nice bouquet of cases there showing different approaches. I just wanted to comment on the first case where you had the conjunctiva prolapsing and then encroaching. See, what happens is when the conjunctiva prolapses and encloses and you find that the side cut is not complete, then even if you use a Circle software and make a hinge and lift the flap, then if the side cut is not complete, then you will have difficulty in removing the lenticule like flex. You may have to cut that edge of the lenticule if the side cut is not completed. And this patient just had 2 diopters of myopia. So probably if your side cut is not completed, then it would probably be safer to do a surface ablation is what I thought. Of course, you were able to remove the lenticule, but take home message for the audience, suppose your side cut is not completed, then even making a Circle software and a flap, removing the lenticule may be a little difficult even in the open exploration. Regarding the various methods of finding the lenticule, of course, you can use the ASOCT, you can put in triamcinolone, or even you can put in prednisolone acetate drops, which you get. You can put that in. You can also use air. If you have air, then what happens is that air normally sits at the edge of the lenticule, so you can make out the edge of the lenticule. That's also a technique described. The other is that the Visumax itself has an inbuilt slit lamp. So when you put on the slit illumination and you do a indirect illumination, you can see the edge of the side cut or the edge of the retained lenticule, and then that will help you dissect it out. So these are all various small methods. And of course, always what I do is when I'm exploring a lenticule, you need not do it under the Visumax. It's best to dilate the pupil and then take it up under your operating microscope, which has stereocoaxial illumination. So you get a very good fundal glow, and this itself can help you visualize the edge of the lenticule and then dissect it and remove it. And if you have online OCT like the RTO 800, then it makes it easier to confirm and then remove. So these are all various methods which you can use to kind of explore. And generally, if there is a retained lenticule, the first thing you should do is ask the patient for the parameters, laser parameters. Suppose it's coming in from another center, then you ask for the video, because sometimes you may want to explore it. You see that there's a retained lenticule, but you don't know what problem the surgeon had, whether the laser has fired properly, whether the lenticule has formed properly. And if you go in blindly and try to find the lenticule, you may get stuck. If there were black spots and the procedure was abandoned, or the surgeon has not been able to dissect properly, and sometimes they can use variable depths. So normally it's 120, which most of us use, but sometimes you may keep a 110 flap or a 100 micron flap or even a 140 flap. So at that time, then suppose you want to convert into a Circle software, if you don't know the thickness of the cap, then you will get into problems. So always request for the earlier parameters so that you have that, and according to that, you can plan your algorithm of surgery. That is very important point. Review the original video. If you have black spots, if the lenticule has not been formed properly, the laser has malfunctioned, then it's ideal to do a surface ablation. Don't go in and then explore. Otherwise, if the laser has fired properly, the lenticule has formed properly, then you can go in and explore. Many times what happens is, I've seen this in some of the cases which I have managed, is that the surgeon enters the deeper plane first. He thinks it's a superficial plane, and then he goes on digging for the deeper plane and makes an artificial entry into the cornea. and then he's not able to remove the lenticule. He may be able to grasp some tissue, but he's not able to remove it, and then he abandons the procedure. In such cases, then you need to kind of find the superficial plane properly, then the deep plane, especially the multiple planes, and then remove it. And in such cases, I think if you convert it to a flap with the Circle software, then open exploration is much easier because you have better visualization. The other small trick is in open exploration, when you make a flap, you can use an endo illuminator. You put off the microscope light, use an endo illuminator, and then shine it from the limbus, and you can see the edge of the flap or any false tracks that have been done. So that's also something technique which you can use. So there are various techniques, but I think Gitansha has demonstrated some of the interesting cases.
No, I wanted answer to two of my questions.
Chitra, can I just make a comment on this?
Yeah.
So I just wanted to say that in our initial learning curve, the couple of cases that we did have retained lenticule, the idea immediately came because we did have intraoppository microscope. So we immediately took the patient from our SMILE OR to our routine OR, and we could retrieve it because on the intraoppository microscope, which is the rescan, you can make out actually where your retained lenticule is when you scan the entire interface. And we did publish this in Journal of Refractive Surgery, rescue of a retained lenticule on the intraoppository microscope.
So how late would any of you want to go ahead and explore and remove the lenticule? And
Chitra, the latest I have done an exploration and removal of lenticule is 1.5 years after the primary surgery.
that's
And you can do it because there's still an interface. It's not that it completely heals and gets adherent. The interface is still there, so you can go in and then dissect it and remove it.
I think the key is to, as Shri said, is to look at the first video. Supposing the laser passage has been quite uniform, both the anterior as well as posterior, and it's been complete. So invariably, you are able to isolate the lenticule and remove it. But in case there has been too much of maneuvering, too much of digging, and there has been too much of black spots, then it might be best not to go around searching for this lenticule and go ahead and do something on the surface.
So I think, Dr. Chitra, from the point of view, how late is something that's going to be totally dependent on the visual symptoms of the patient. Ideally, if the patient has not recovered good vision, the person should have been put on the pentacam and seen as to what it is, and the surgeon should have seen. But if the patient comes to you by default or on a rebound and you're finding that the vision is not improving, then that is the time. So in case the OCT shows you that there is the lenticule which you can easily pick up, then you have to try and do that and remove that particular lenticule. I haven't really had the option. Shri tends to get a lot of patients from other people. I don't know why, but I have never had a removal of a lenticule for that long, because the surgeon should ideally on the table know that the lenticule is incomplete. And even now, whenever there is slight difficulty, I always spread the lenticule onto the cornea to see as to whether it's a complete lenticule or there is something partial. But mild slivers towards the end at times can settle down, and they don't make that much of a difference.
very valid answer, but probably Sri finish having a training center, you might have these issues. So that
I recently did one case which was done at one of the centers. The patient traveled to the US, and then there was COVID. He couldn't come back. One eye, the surgery has gone on well. The other eye, there was some retained lenticule. The surgeon was not able to identify and remove it. And then he probably told him to come back later for a TopoLink surface ablation or something like that. But the patient was not able to travel for 1 year because he had gone back to the US. And then he came almost after 1 year, 3 months or so. And then we had to kind of explore and remove the lenticule. So you have cases like this. But what I'm trying to say is that you can go in and remove it even 1 year later. It's not difficult. The other thing is, like Maipal was saying, you examine the lenticule. Sometimes you may not see it clearly. So what you can do is you can stain the lenticule with trypan blue. You can stain the lenticule with trypan blue and put it on a white surface. Then it becomes very clear. Even the edges are seen very clear. So this is something that you can do for beginners, especially if you suspect that your lenticule is not intact.
So thanks a lot, Gitansha, for a very nice presentation.